The president of Nigeria's Labour Congress, NLC, Comrade Joe Ajaero, has thrown his weight behind the Academic Staff Union of Nigerian Universities, ASUU, against the government that has declared no work, no pay on the union for embarking on 2 weeks warning strike and shutting down Nigeria's universities. Of course, we don't want the universities to be shut down. As members of the Academic Staff Union of Nigerian Universities, and we will want the Nigerian Labour Congress to intervene. But we will not want the Nigerian Labour Congress to intervene from an unjust point of view. We will want the Nigerian Labour Congress to investigate the reason why the 2009 agreement due for implementation since 2013 has not seen the light of day till 2025. And our conviction and indeed our experience is that the leadership of the union, ASUU leadership, has been ending every strike with getting fraudulent and academic allowance from government since that year 2013 till date 2025. Otherwise, Joe Ajaero should ask himself, why should it take a workers' union more than 10 years to get regular increment of salaries? And what does the so-called end academic allowance mean? Because as a matter of fact, it is not anybody's end academic allowance. That is the irony of it. It's not anybody's end academic allowance, but a bribe agreed between ASUU leadership and government, shared with the non-academic unions. After which, talk about 2009 agreement waits till another time. So that has been playing out since 2013 till date 2025. And to make the matters worse, the leadership of ASUU has taken another fraudulent end academic allowance from government this year, and yet to be resolved. The anger of the non-academic unions, saying that they have been cheated in the distribution of the so-called end academic allowance. So if that is not a shame of a workers' union, what is? Joe Ajaero should judge, should be concerned about what actually is happening, rather than just want to fight against no work, no pay. It's more than that. Yes, we appreciate that. As ASUU members, we have no spine at all for such declaration. We suffered it in 2022. And the fact of the matter is that ASUU leadership, and this is another matter that Joe Ajaero should be interested in, how a workers' union will entitle itself to a percentage of each worker's monthly salary monthly as a membership due of a workers' union. Because the reality is that since 2012, ASUU leadership has been extorting 2% of each ASUU member's monthly salary monthly, increased to 3% in 2024 till date. So those two issues are fundamental and borders on why there is brain drain in our university system, and ASUU leadership not minding shutting down the universities to get nothing but fraudulent and academic allowance from government. And this time around, our conclusion is that ASUU leadership is bent on this strike not because of 2009 agreement per se or at all, but that government has been reneging on remitting the extortion of 3% of each worker's monthly salary monthly to its own account. But let Joe Ajaero and the Nigerian Labour Congress look into it. The justification for a workers' union to entitle itself to 2% of each worker's monthly salary monthly, and the power to increase or decrease the 2% as deemed fit by the leadership alone, leading to the increment from 2% in 2024 to 20 till date. So ASUU members are weeping over that, except the cronies who are benefiting from the corruption and the extortion. So, two areas. What led to ASUU leadership taking fraudulent and academic allowance in the name of workers, preventing the workers from getting their legitimate and allowances from their workers? So these fundamental injustices are there, which we want the Nigerian Labour Congress to look into, rather than confronting government alone. Government alone is not in the fraud cases. The extortion of 2% or 3% by ASUU leadership could not be done without the collusion of government. Fraudulent and academic allowance is not possible without the collusion of government, and indeed 3 forces: the ASUU leadership, the university administrators, and government. The 3 of them are involved in the exploitation of ASUU members and the federal universities workers, academic and not non-academic, also denied of earning their legitimate earned allowances. Once the fraudulent earned allowances or earned allowance is shared with the non-academic unions and distributed as pleased the unions leaders, academic and non-academic. So these are fundamental issues that the NLC must not gloss over and single out. No work, no pay. Yes, as a common workers, we have no spine for it. ASUU leaders have strong pillars in their back for it, arising from extortion of a percentage of each worker's monthly salary monthly and getting fraudulent and academic allowance, from which it will take 4% before sharing to branches, and the branches heads will also take their own percentage before sharing what is left lopsidedly to members. Privileged ones becoming multimillionaire. The underprivileged ones getting pittance. So the issue is more than no work, no pay, but a game being played between government and ASUU leadership to the detriment of ASUU members and common workers in the case of the fraudulent earned academic allowance, stalling the implementation of the 2009 agreement and regular increment of salaries since 2013. That is the injustices we will want the Nigerian Labour Congress to look into, and not no work, no pay in isolation. That's my plea to Joe Ajaero and the Nigerian Labour Congress.